I know you feel it, the burning in your spirit, welling deep inside. You got a beast inside. I know it's hard to tame it, it's harder to explain it. Can't even get a picture, no matter how you frame it. There's so much pressure with all these external stresses, and they try to test you. Gotta push them through the feeling, even though your mind is reeling. The power's deep inside and leads you if you were willing. Got the power. Can you feel the power? This is the hour to release your power. Got the power.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Power Shut Up. We are in episode number 2. We just kicked off season 2. Oh, 2 must be the lucky number. Okay, I think so. But welcome back to another episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in last week. I kind of gave you a history of why the Power Shut Up podcast. So I gave you a little history about the book and how that stemmed. I even brought up our guest. She doesn't know that yet, I don't think. But I brought up my guest because it stemmed from back in 2019. That's where everything started. So I thank everyone for tuning in and kind of getting an idea of what we'll be doing for this season, because we always try to step it up every season. And Shariva, who's always behind the scenes, always has some wonderful ideas. So you all see my... let me see this way. You see my new neon sign. And also we have now last week, we actually shared a new friend, but we actually have given her a name. So we actually want to reintroduce you to Cece. And you may be able to win something if you can guess what CC stands for, but hold your form, okay? Just wait a minute. Before we get started, I want to do what I always do, because you all that know me know that I love to celebrate others. So I want to say happy birthday to anyone who's celebrating a birthday, whether it's family, friend, whatever. Happy birthday to you. Turn up, do the daggone thing, all that good stuff. Also, because I love celebrating love, want to say happy anniversary to those who are celebrating an anniversary, a new relationship, whatever it is. Keep showing love to each other, to others. So happy anniversary. Enjoy yourselves. And I also wanted to say congratulations. Congratulations goes out to everyone who is celebrating a win, buying a new home, whatever it may be. A special congratulations to Dr. Teresa A. Mosley. She had an amazing event this Sunday called the Passion, Purpose, Peace event. And I'm honored that I was able to receive an award from Dr. Teresa, Her Excellency. She shared this award with a lot of people. I think it was maybe 80 to 100 people who received this honor, but some of us were there on Sunday for the brunch. We had an amazing time. So congratulations to all of those honorees. And congratulations to everybody out there that's just living out their dreams, took the first step, whatever it is. Congratulations to you. So you all have been paying attention to some postings we've been doing about how it's going down tonight. And I have a guest with me tonight. Last week I was solo, but most of the time I'm going to have some company with me. And what I decided for season 2 was that we're going to kind of start with self. So this is a check yourself before you wreck yourself episode. And my guest is probably the best person to help us check ourselves. And you'll see why. But I tried to prepare people to, if you can handle the truth and you got your steel toe boots on, we might be stomping like the big dogs up in here on your feet, on my feet, but it's okay because it leads us to growth. And this is a communication thing. If you all don't know her yet, you will, but she loves words. I love words, communication. So this is going to be a good time. And I really want you all to tune in, share this with your family and friends, and let's have a conversation. Last week, I thank everyone who tuned in. I think Crystal was one of our viewers last week, and she won a copy of The Power Shut Up, and I thought there was another winner. So the other winner, please send your information to our email info. I think Shariva is the info at dsmmedia@gmail.com. But please send your information so we can get that book out to you. So thank you so much to the winner, and we will have another winner because we have a word of the week or of the day. We have a TikTok moment, and we have a tip of the day. So we're doing some new things this season to help us grow our vocabulary, to help us learn how to communicate better with one another so we all win. Hey, Shadana, welcome. We have a special shout out to her coming up because we had some great news and we had some players in the room that had a lot to do with it. So please continue to share this out, and we're going to get right into it, Shawn. So I want to first introduce you to Shawn LeSuer. And if you all haven't tuned in before, she's been she's not let me put it this way. She's not a newbie, so she get to go to the refrigerator and get her own drink, okay? We not serving nobody over here. She is family, so we ain't serving her no more. She get her own stuff and go sit down somewhere. Yeah, so, but we want to welcome Shawn back to the Power Shut Up podcast, and I brought her here for some straight talk, because I think a lot of times, especially in the lane of communication, and well, in any area, we're quick to point out what someone else is doing that ain't right. We good with that. I'm real good with that. But sometimes we aren't so good with taking a look at what we're doing that's contributing to the issue. And I'll share this, Shawn, before we get into it, that I think that one of the challenges is that it's hard to address the issues that you have personally when someone else is actually doing something that might not be quite right. So it's easy to, if they're doing something wrong in your eyes, it's so much easier to say, well, you're doing it wrong, and then not be able to focus on what you're also maybe doing something wrong. And so what I'm suggesting is, in these conversations that we have, especially tonight, we're talking about self right now. So even if Joe Blow Mo is doing something that they should not be doing, tonight, that ain't our focus, and it ain't our problem. Right now, we talking about us. And so I want to lead with that. Hello, and thank you to everyone who's tuning in. Hi, Cynthia. And Shadana, please don't leave because we got something for you. We have commercials and everything. So stay tuned. Please share this. But Shawn, let's get into it. Because I know I have had conversations with you where let's just say they were challenging conversations, but I gained so much from the check that I feel like everybody needs a little, chin check every now and then. So I want you to bring it, but let's talk about self-checking and check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Yes, I am. I've already gone into the refrigerator. I've grabbed a Sprite. I put ice in there. And for real, I'm still trying to figure out why you don't have cherries in the refrigerator so I can make it seem like it's a Shirley Temple. So y'all gotta, step your game up. But anyway, it is so exciting to be here with you, Shariva, your incredible team. The Power Shut Up. Again, I'm in awe of all that you do and continue to do to push yourselves, to push the limits in media. Congratulations on your award, Lisa. That's so awesome. So again, thank you so much for having me. I don't know, Lisa, the root of my ability to check myself. Because it really is, it's a skill and it also is a practice.
Mm.
But I think it starts with the desire to want to be better. People always talk about, right, wrong, good, bad. It's so much gray in there,
That's true.
depending on the perspective. So the first thing I think that people have to acknowledge or desire, they have to desire to be self-aware.
True.
That's the first thing. You have to really want to know yourself and be aware of yourself. And it's so important because nobody's going to listen to you. Let me back up. People will listen to you, okay? Because even the zombies have followers. Okay, anyway.
That's true.
You have to first start with the desire to be self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
The desire. See, before we even get to self-care, we got to be self-aware.
That's true.
Okay. I'm a poet. I didn't even know it. I know, again, I prepare these things. So anyway.
Oh my goodness, 2 and 2.
Okay. Words. Come on, family. Let's go. You have to desire to be self-aware. And unfortunately, Lisa, we are in a culture that it's much easier to play victim. It's much easier to blame. Like the blame game is super popular. And it also is easier to point fingers, which actually is biblical, right? So while you're pointing fingers, right? Mm-hmm. Everything from he who is without sin cast the first stone. So while you out here talking about Diddy, you've been a whole bunch of places you haven't been. And there's some real distractions that are going on that keep us from being self-aware.
Right. Well, dealing with your own stuff, right? Because, and the reason why this conversation is so important is because that's really how I got to the power shut up. Because it's not that I was the only one who wasn't listening or the only one who wasn't, communicating well, but my focus was on everybody else who wasn't. And I never took a minute to think about, okay, but Lisa, what you doing? Let's fix your stuff first, because it's hard to walk into a space. And well, it could be embarrassing to walk into a space, be able to check other people about what they're not doing right, and then be able to kick that back to you and say, well, you're doing the same thing. So wouldn't it be better to be able to walk into a space where you can no longer say that to me because I have done the work? And then it lands better. And I had to learn that the hard way, because I was recognizing a whole bunch of people's stuff, but I never took a moment to think about how I was contributing to the problem. And I was in what you just said. I was in the I'm right, you wrong, that kind of space, which I live in often. Sometimes I have to shake it off, because it's not a right and wrong, but we tend to balance it that way. It's either got to be this or it's got to be this. And sometimes this is all a mess.
It's so important that we spend a moment here, because this idea that it's my way, this is the right way, this is the only way, it hinders so many opportunities for growth, not just personally, but for the situation to change. When I was listening to a marriage seminar, and I will never forget this line that he said: if you want change, change. Now I want you to just think about that. If you want change, if you don't like your hair, if you don't like your clothes, if you feel like you are too skinny, too fat, whatever, you have the power to change it.
That's right.
And so if we become and desire to be self-aware, we really are, as much cliches, because I'm like big on cliches, we are the change. Everybody's like, be the change you want to see in the world. Change.
Right.
Change.
Yeah.
You are. I remember I was having like we were talking about. So I was traditionally working outside of the home while my then spouse was at home with our daughter. And I expected, okay, because we're going to talk about managing expectations, fam, because again, we're going to be self-aware. Let's get into it, okay? Because you need to be managing your expectations. You putting stuff on people they don't even know. So in his mind, he's enjoying time with his infant child while studying, right, to get an advanced degree. I come home, I expect the dishes to be done. Come on, y'all. I expect the dishes to be done. I expect it to be clean. I expect it to be sparkling because I'm thinking he's me. I'm thinking that we're the same. So what I would do with that time, they're supposed to do it. See, when you become self-aware, so watch this, Lisa, because in that self-aware, there needs to be some quiet time. There needs to be some time with spirit. I'm a believer. Me and the Holy Spirit, we had to go off into the car and cry and all kinds of things. And here's what I believe in my heart of hearts. If it bothers you so much, wash the dishes. Like this. What?
Well, you know what? This reminds me of a conversation we've had before, and I think this is definitely in the lane of what we're talking about, because expectation, I think I've brought some things to you, and I've talked about how this happened, and that's not how it goes, and when we're running off all of this stuff, I think that's what we're missing, that this is what we're expecting. This is how we move. This is what we do. But the reality is that, like we love the idea of being unique and us being the only one, right? So in reality, with expectations, we are the only one. Okay. You might have some friends that dip in and out of what you agree with and what you expect. But generally speaking, you are uniquely the one who expects this, that, and the other. So to what you said, so to put that on someone else and then expect the results, because not only do we expect it, when the results don't come back the same, even if they did it the same way we did it, we still got a problem with it. And guess what? It's our problem.
And you know what? I'm going to take it even further. Many people have expectations, because we're talking about self-awareness now. They haven't even communicated to anyone.
Absolutely.
Pick that up.
Absolutely.
So you are expecting, just example, you're expecting him to take out the trash, because in your mind, that's what men do. If you want it out by 9 p.m. so that you don't have to wake up early in the morning to catch the truck, and he wants to take it out when he's on his way to work at 6 a.m., why is he wrong? Because it's not the way you do it.
Right.
The trash is still going out. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times we have this expectation rooted in our own perspective, rooted from our own upbringing, these things that influence us, and we're not even communicating it.
Well, that's the big part, because it's all up here. And since none of us are mind readers, but we have all these expectations, we're looking for certain results. And the thing about it is we get so worked up about something because we put all of that in place without having the conversation. And now we can't sleep at night. We're stressed. We're arguing with people. We're fussing at people. We got short tempers. We're triggered by everything, all because we had our own expectation that we have now planted on someone else, and they had no idea. So they were never going to win in that space because they didn't even know that they were meeting a goal you placed for them.
Right. And how about this? Think about what you also said, because I'm sticking to our topic for this moment till we shift. When do you check yourself? When do you say, this isn't even helpful? This isn't healthy. This isn't beneficial. This isn't, you were staying, I like to talk about to my entrepreneurs out here. So you are working a traditional 9 to 5, then you're working from 5 to 9 on your business. supposedly. Come on, somebody, let's talk about that in a minute. But anyway, or better yet, Lisa, I'm gonna go, you working from 6 to 11, 7 to 12, 8 to, because you still gotta spend some time with your partner. You gotta make sure homework is good. You gotta get ready for work tomorrow. So you're burning the candle on both ends. You grinding. Sleep is for when you dead. No, dead is dead.
That part.
Dead is dead, people. This grind, you got to really check yourself. This isn't working for you. If you're popping pills to get up, popping pills to go to sleep, it's not working for you. Like, let's have that conversation with yourself. This is not working, fam. You having to go and take whatever drops and shots and all of these other things because you have choices.
Okay, well, first of all, you're not gonna keep stepping on my toes because I only put one boot on. But wait a minute. So let me first say, I'm gonna say hello. Welcome, Lisa. Welcome, Empowering Perspectives, to the Power Shut Up podcast. Thank you so much. Thank you again for tuning in last week and joining us again this week. And we're coming straight with no chaser, but I want to stay in the lane of expectations. And we're going to talk about communication because the thing is that we all have expectations of other people. Rarely do we tap into the expectations of ourselves, which is why we're always pointing the finger, because we don't deal with the expectations of self, because that's where the real work is. And I think that we're avoiding that because that's the harder work. And we want to do the easy work, which is to tell you what you ain't doing that I need you to do. Whether it's taking out the trash, or let's be really transparent here. A lot of the things that brought me to a place where I'm now doing the Power Shut Up podcast is because I was not checking me about and I'm going to share this. I wasn't checking me about something that I was very much aware of that I had an issue with. But it was easier to ignore something that I clearly already knew, okay, that I could get to talking. I got an opinion, I'm opinionated. I knew these things about myself. But the fact that I wasn't addressing it, I would rather talk about what he ain't doing and what she ain't doing, and they not listening to me. I had to get real with myself and check myself. I wanted to share some of the comments. So Cynthia said, so is this like you're expecting that person to do for you as you're doing for them? Not actually, yes, but not only that, which Shawn has checked me on a few times, that we're expecting them to be us, to understand it the way we understand it, to hear it the way we hear it. Just impossible things to, it's impossible to meet that, but that's what we're expecting.
And I want to go with that. Thank you, Cynthia. That's so awesome, because this is where, and I definitely want to comment on Lisa's comment too. Here's what's so fascinating. We'll just go back to the trash scenario, but like you said, we can get into it and get real transparent. They're not you. You're not them. So the idea of a partnership relationship is so that they can be the better. I always say better because we always give an opportunity and room to grow. Come on, y'all. So they can be the better of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
If he is a good cook, but he can't iron a lick. Okay, that's me. My husband loves to iron. I cannot iron. Let me back up. I choose not to. It's literally traumatic. We'll talk about that another time, okay? So why would he be fair by getting mad at me for not ironing? It really is a waste of energy. And he still gets to get it done the way he needs to get it done. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Like, we have to accept and understand people for who they are, because that's what we want for ourselves. And so if we don't start to spend time with ourselves, stop guilt tripping ourselves, beating up on ourselves, trying to be things by which we are not, we will be better partners, better parents, better employees. Okay. I am real tired of this. Well, that's just how I am. Are you working on it though? If you're mad about it, if it's not healthy for you, stop that. Stop. You know, this is just what I do, Lisa. This is what I do. You can stop doing it. You're grown. You're a whole adult. Stop it. I have so many issues with people being late. Oh my God, I can't even talk about it. Pray for me, y'all. Because that CPP, that listen, my father, I have to speak about this every time I go and speak, y'all. My father was in the military. You all, and my father grew up where you had to punch a clock. Fam, if we had to punch a clock right now, Lisa, let me tell, okay, I'm gonna help it for some of your younger listeners. You had to take a card, all right, and you had to put it inside the machine, and it did like this. It literally punched a hole with the time on it. Okay, y'all picking up what I'm putting down?
I'm telling my age, but I absolutely know what you're talking about.
Okay, exactly. All right. So this is what I've had to say to my children. They, in those days, y'all, they did your paycheck on 15-minute increments. If you were 1 minute late, first of all, Lisa would get fired for punching my clock. Come on, y'all. Y'all be like, just tell them I'm coming. That's not her job. So let me just say that. So don't be saying, oh, my girl could put it in there. No, she can't. You're about to put her job in jeopardy. It's up to you. Okay. And they did have cameras in those days too. So watch it. 901. If you do 901, y'all, 5 days a week, you lost technically an hour and 15 minutes off your check. Let's do some math, fam. $20 an hour. You lost because you were 1 minute late. $30 out your check. Did y'all catch that? Because they didn't start your paycheck till 9:15.
Expectations.
So I don't think that we understand that when there are standards, right? It's expectations, but there are also standards. And we make excuses for not applying ourselves in cultural standards. Oh God, here we go. Let's talk. Okay, anyway, we're not going to talk about your see-through dresses. Okay, now I'm just saying, all right? It's cultural standards. And then we mad that people respond. You mad that you short on your check. You mad because somebody is looking at you inappropriately when you having a whole preview because you didn't put on a slip or girdle or whatever. Come on, somebody, let's talk about it. Let's be aware. You know you got junk in the trunk. You can't wear what everybody else wear. Period.
Well, and bringing it back to communication. I mean, you can't say anything you want to say. Now, technically speaking, it may come out your mouth, but understand that whatever you say, there are consequences to what you say out of your mouth. The other thing about communication, when we talk about expectations, is you expect people not to respond to what you say. Even though you can say whatever you want to say, but when they actually choose to follow the same direction, oh, you're like, wait a minute, hold up. That's what you're not going to say. Well, wait a minute. When did the rules change? Only when I spoke? So, I mean, we have to be mindful of except being self-aware. But I mean, you're right. That is the key. I wanted to actually, I think we missed a couple of comments.
Sure.
Lisa, no, thank you so much for coming into the room. We appreciate you and empowering perspectives. Thank you so much. You all have been giving some great perspective. Let me see what we got. My apologies. I was late logging on and forgot my manners. Hello to the panel, enjoying the conversation. Oh, no. You are just fine. Thank you for joining us. Empowering perspectives. Expectations are for the promises of TMH and my ability to honor my covenant with him. My partner becomes the beneficiary of my obedience to him. I should focus on appreciating who my partner is. Absolutely. I mean, this is the real work right here, which is why I thought this is so important with what we do on a daily basis. I think sometimes even when we touch on these ideas, the Most High got you. But when we touch on these ideas of how we self-check, we do it for a day, and then we go back to what we did yesterday. And I'm suggesting, even in these conversations, that this is something that I want you to think about constantly. I know that's what got me through. This is why I want to share the message, because it took some practice. I didn't just decide one day, and I'm saying this with my whole chest. I did not just wake up one day and decide that I was just going to shut up and be quiet. That is not what happened. Okay. I had to test it. I was not a believer. Okay, so I had to test it again. But it was me wanting to be better. Not only that, not better for just myself, but to be better for others, whether it be my husband or my children or my friendships. I really wanted to communicate better. And that's what the motivation was. And I think that sometimes when we do the self-work, we have to decide how bad do we want it for ourselves and then for our families. Because we all talk a good game about what we want. But then are we willing to do the work on self to help make that happen?
Right. I mean, we're modeling. There's more caught than taught, right? So one of the things, and I'm always big on fillers, so I'm not gonna say right anymore, but there's more caught than taught. People are watching you. People are watching you, not just in your family, because your book addresses all communities, like I said, work. You want to at least consider your ways and be willing. This is the other part. So we said self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're doing self-work and be prepared for when you change, everything else changes. So that's the follow-up.
And it's true.
When you change, everything else changes. So when you stop, I mean, let's say it's an addiction, but we're talking about communication. When you stop yelling, just use an example. When you stop yelling at your children, your spouse, whatever, the first couple times, they're not going to know how to respond. They've already become accustomed. We've trained. We've created an environment. When you change, everything changes. So you're still going to have to continue in the work, Lisa, which is what I appreciate about you and this mission and passion for the power shut up. You're going to have to continue in the work. Bam. You don't just, because now your children went from living with a bully or a tyrant to now wanting to trust you. Come on, y'all. Let's talk about it. Now they want to tell you that so-and-so broke their heart. They want to tell you that Steve said something that made them sad. They did not trust you before.
Absolutely.
So now you have to be prepared for their changes and be ready to receive. And guess what, Lisa, when they tell you about Steve, you might revert back to that, back to your old crazy self, your old crazy ways. So this is a constant work.
Yes.
It's a constant work. It's a constant work on the job, because we also are dealing with cultural norms and expectations and cultural standards and beliefs.
Absolutely.
As African Americans here in the US, Black women, Black men, my husband does not smile. He doesn't have a toothy smile. He just nods, for lack of a better term, a smirk, because of his own issues and thoughts about his teeth. Don't have anything to do with you.
Right.
But if you don't see him smiling like this, oh, he mad.
Oh, yeah. We
gotta deal with that too. So we have to be in that self-awareness, Lisa. We got to be aware of our environments as well as our relationships, and also what other people are bringing to the table. See how much work that is?
Oh, absolutely. I was accused many times of, the resting bee face and things like that. So being self-aware, in the beginning, and then I'm going to take Cynthia's question because she had a question for us. I don't want to miss that. But in the beginning, I took offense. I was very defensive about the fact that you called me mean or thought that I was frowning, or you know how you walk into a building and somebody immediately says, because they're reading your face, you're communicating with them before you even opened your mouth, and they were reading my face and saying, well, just smile. And I'm like, man, I don't feel like smiling. So it took me years. I mean, I was grown, y'all. I'm just being very transparent before I was like, what am I fussing about? Like all they said to me was smile. And now I'm offended. I'm being defensive. I'm getting smart. I'm moving the neck. And I had to check myself. Like, Lisa, what's the problem? Because this isn't about them. This is about you. Why would that set you off? Why is that your trigger? Especially when you already know that you look like that half the time. You know what I'm saying? You're wearing it like a badge of honor when for real, you haven't dealt with the reason that you look like that all the time, whether it was something on your mind or even just being aware, because sitting in a meeting, you can't look like that. People are making judgments on you. So it's not that you're trying to change because somebody wants you to change, but it's being aware that, hey, if you want to have a meaningful conversation or you want somebody to receive you, you might want to work on how you're bringing yourself into the room, because people going to read your face before they hear the words that come out of your mouth. So, I mean, that's just one of the things, but I wanted to catch Cynthia's question before we moved on, and we're going to take a commercial break as well. But Cynthia said, what's your suggestion on fighting back depression, on being self-aware and to be better? So Shawn, did you want to take that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Cynthia. This is, oh my gosh, mental health, emotional health is this thing. So knowing that you are depressed is huge.
It is.
So that is a big step of being self-aware. We are in a culture, as I mentioned, grind, do. All you got to do, just get over it. That's not healthy. It's not practical. It's not fair. So the first step is in the knowing. Now there is some work. And most likely the depression, if your desire, like we said, that desire is to be better is there, is you're judging yourself. You're not forgiving yourself. And that is part of the self-work. So I'm going to tell you, you're still here. His mercies are new every single morning. Y'all, I don't care what book you read, what your beliefs are. I got a Bible verse for it. It's been read. I'm just going to tell it like it is, because it is when we're still here. You have another chance. As we mentioned, you have the power to redirect your energy, change your language, change what you say about yourself, change what you're seeing. Because I got to tell you, it's so easy in this world to see what you don't have, what you can't do, what you didn't do. I'll tell you something that blessed me. I had this similar conversation in preparation, and someone talked about a quote from Ricky Smiley that I'd like to share with you, Cynthia. And again, hopefully this bless you and gives you a chance to know that being here, being present, being aware, listening to this podcast is part of the work. And again, I applaud you and thank you for this. Let me tell you what Ricky Smiley said. At least you're going to love this. He said, as parents, Gen X, we spent so much of our children's lives giving them what we didn't have, that we missed out on doubling down on what we did.
Wow.
So I want y'all to really think about that. We're spending all this. Again, we can have a whole separate conversation. I'll get back to that. Remind me. So you had a compassionate and present parent, or maybe you had a crazy and cuckoo parent. So why are we focusing on the crazy and cuckoo part instead of you had a roof over your head? Or maybe the fact that they showed you how to cook. Maybe you had a parent that was so tired that you learned how to cook. And watch this. You are a very good cook. Reward yourself. Reward yourself for those things. Maybe you're an oldest child. Lisa and I are both oldest children, and you had to take care of some siblings. Instead of being resentful or judgmental, you may feel that your childhood was robbed. I want to encourage everybody, Lisa, in their self-awareness, to redirect that energy and redirect that story and rewrite their story and reframe their situation. Because you know what you have, because you were taking care of those siblings, whoever this may be for, you know how to care for people. You're a caring person. You know how to put alcohol on the wound and make sure that the bump don't show, so your parents won't get mad. You know that. That's, you know what, skill.
I wanted to also mention, because I and two letters became my best friends in going through some processes and learning how to check myself. Because I was wrecking myself. I mean, it's a quote, but actually it works that way. And somebody mentioned self-talk. I wanted to tap into that, but it's okay. Just don't stay. And I say that to myself often because a lot of times people deny themselves that space to feel the way you're feeling. And I say, acknowledge it, but you just can't stay there. So it's okay. It's really okay because it's human. It's normal. I shared the example of going through COVID and losing my mind with what was going on. I could not believe that this is the world that I was living in. And I wasn't receiving. I literally was not receiving where we were. And I was making my entire household miserable, angry, stressed. They were telling on me to whoever would listen that she has lost her mind. But I literally had to stop telling them what you're not doing. You're not taking this mask. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. And I got so tired of hearing me. Because I was like, wait a minute, something's going on here, that I literally had to say, okay, Lisa, you got to take a step back and figure out what's going on with you. And I had to do a huge self-check. I'm not saying it's easy, but I got to a point where I had to focus on me because I couldn't change nobody else. I couldn't change nobody else.
Say it again, because what you said, it's not easy, but life isn't. The only place there is easy is a button in Staples. There's no right. Easy. What right. It is opportunity.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity. It's a chance. Like, oh my God, here's an opportunity for me to get this certificate instead of, dang, I done failed this test 50. It's an opportunity. One thing that I love about Dr. Eric Thomas, he says, instead of talking about I have to, I get to. You get to go to this job. Yeah, it may not be the best one, ideal one, but you get to go. And now, watch this. You get to apply for other ones, right? You get to gain skills that you can use on another job. Come on now. You get to have health benefits so you can get mental health and emotional health support. You feel? You get to. It's a stone.
Absolutely.
It's a stepping stone. You get to, and so I want to just encourage anyone in this self-awareness. This is everything that we are. Everyone is energy, right? Remember,
actually, I wanted to catch Cynthia's because she actually was listening to some of the things you were saying. She said, I like that redirect, that energy in my childhood was good. I should think more about that. Thank you. So Cynthia, I'm glad that actually what you just said helped me. And I want to make sure that I recognize the comments because you all are spitting some gems. And I love it. So I'm always going to acknowledge. Thank you so much for the comments, for engaging, because all of this is helpful. We all going through some stuff. We all have to do this on a regular basis. And I've been so engaged in the conversation, y'all. That I'm like, oh, maybe we should extend this. But Cherie was like, no, I got things to do, Lisa. This is an hour-long show. No, I'm just kidding. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We're not going yet, but I wanted to take a real commercial break real quick. Don't go anywhere. Please share this out to your family and your friends. This is just the beginning of season 2 where I want us to start to tap into self first because we're going to talk about that self-talk. I think somebody brought up self-talk, which is definitely down my lane and what the Power Shut Up is all about. So let's take a commercial break. We're coming right back and we're going to get into some self-talk. We'll be right
Want to grow your brand's reach? We're seeking sponsors like you for our upcoming episodes. Whether you need a custom graphic or full commercial, our creative team can make it happen. Get your brand in front of a dedicated audience today. Let's create something amazing together. Contact DSM Media today to secure your spot.
ESM Media is the reason that we're able to be here and have these powerful conversations. But I wanted to actually tap into, and then also, Shawn, if you're catching anything with the comments, we can tap into the self-talk. The reason why that is so important is because if you think about it, when you speak, I mean, yes, we're speaking outwardly, but it had to get in here first. So you speaking to yourself before you spit anything out of your mouth. You are actually speaking to self. If we don't get it right in here, it doesn't come out right. And you're not only damaging you, you're damaging those around you. So you can tell by conversations with people, right? You can tell when you're having conversations or somebody's talking to you, whether they got some stuff on them, because it's going to come out in there. And I know people say, don't tone police. It ain't about tone is everything. Tone, what you say, how you say it. There's no nice way to say what part of no don't you understand. You can't just say that nicely. Some things just shouldn't be said. And I think that sometimes when we're talking to ourselves, we're self-sabotaging before we can even get into it. We try to trick ourselves now. So because it's in here, but we try to say something different when we put it out. And it always comes back to, because your actions are going to speak along with your words, right? They're going to match up eventually.
Right.
So just remember that self-talk is something that we really need to tap into.
And it actually is, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So you're thinking that people are talking about you. You didn't hear it. You think everybody thinks you that hat don't look good on you. You already thought it. So by the time you get to the birthday party or to the award ceremony, you have actually my husband preached this whole message on thoughts. I think it's like 6,000 thoughts, you guys. I don't know the numbers. You can look it up. You have that many thoughts. The real issue for everyone, Lisa, in this self-awareness, is out of that 6,000, which ones travel from here, everyone, to knowledge, to heart, belief. That's where we get in trouble. Mm-hmm. Now you actually believe that everybody on the job is talking about you because you spilled coffee 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Now you believe it. So you're going into work with this attitude of, I'm ready to cut somebody up. I'm ready to tell them about themselves. This is what you created by making that thought a belief. Mm-hmm. So in your self-aware journey, be honest. Where did this come from? What is the root? I love that we have these conversations because there is a root. Oh, I think someone mentioned there's a root. And most likely, everyone, we did not have conversations, healthy conversations mirrored. We were told as children, this grown folks talking, right? Then when we became teenagers, shut up, I don't want to hear from you because again, you saying too much. When did we ever experience having a healthy conversation? Watch this. Even when you disagree, mm-hmm. Even when you're wrong, come on, somebody. Like you said, Lisa, that's hard. When was the last time you had a conversation that started with, I thought about what I did last night and I apologize?
How often does that happen?
How often are you reaching back to siblings, parents, co-workers, bosses, and saying, I would like help on how to better work with my team. I feel like I may not know how to communicate the urgency of the project or the deadline. Right. When how often do we do that? And better yet, Lisa, how many times is that mirrored? Oftentimes, if the deadline ain't met, we going off. I'm not working with Lisa no more because it was supposed to be done Thursday and it's not being done Thursday and I don't want to be bothered with her. Right? We have intense conversations when we're grieving, right? Mm-hmm. We have intense conversations when we're already angry. Yep. When we physically are tired. Oh my God. You guys know that when you are driving tired, watch this, you guys, it is the same neurological response, Lisa, as when you're driving drunk. Mm-hmm. But you gonna go, Lisa. You gonna go to that 24-hour Walmart. You gonna get that Starbucks, and you gonna stay up late, and then you driving home.
Look, and Lisa mentioned something about the conscious and subconscious. So that's a whole nother conversation that we definitely going to have on one of these episodes, because I learned some things through this process of the Power Shut Up, where subconscious people are playing around with the subconscious, and it is nothing to play with. And I think we're sleeping in a lot of spaces where we need to be paying attention, because that's how we're moving in spaces and we're not understanding what's happening. And a lot of it has to do with our communication, what we're thinking, what we're saying out of our mouths. And we just have to do better. So look, I want to make sure that we tap into some things before we leave here. Shawn, no, we can go, and Shawn is coming back. You all have been bringing up the conscious and subconscious. We're coming back with that, because this whole subconscious conversation I was so enlightened. And I have to share some things, because I rarely share this, but you all are kind of empowering me to share some things with how subconscious I was awakened and shifted into a whole new way of living, as far as what I let get into my subconscious. And it all has to do with communication, what I'm seeing. Shawn, we've had that conversation. What I'm seeing, what I'm taking in with my eyes, what I'm taking into my ears. All of this matters, and we're going to get into it. But what I want to do is, and Shawn's going to understand why this is so important to me, I want to learn a word or share a word because we know words have to do with communication and your vocabulary. So last week we had a word, Sharif, I think we had kerfuffle. I like this word. I really do. I really like this word. So that's the nerdy part of me, but Shawn's nerdy too.
Yeah.
But we had a winner who said something, and I want to remind, we had 2 winners on last week. So if you are a winner from last week and did not send your information, please do. I think we have Cynthia's information. So we got a book coming. No, Crystal. We have Crystal's information, but there was someone else who won. So please inbox us your information. But I got a word for you today. And then the first person who gets this right is going to get a copy of the book, The Power Shut Up. So
she put it up there. Go ahead.
The word is, we're going to put it up. The word is mellifluous.
Mellifluous. Yep.
Mellifluous.
Yep.
So please, the first person to tell me, you got 30 seconds. Don't be Googling.
Don't Google.
Tell me what the word means, and you will get a copy of The Power Shut Up. Or if you already have a copy, we'll give you a different book. But I want to build up our vocabulary too. I fell in love with the word kerfuffle, and then you start to hear it. And believe it or not, a lot of these words are things that are happening in the world as we speak. And kerfuffle is happening everywhere, especially on TikTok, guys, especially.
Oh,
okay?
Jesus.
So let me see.
This is your word.
So did somebody put the definition in there? Please drop mellifluous.
Lisa, while we waiting on that, I want to comment. First of all, we got conscious versus unconscious, but Empowering Perspectives talked about emotional intelligence. Mm-hmm. When I say that will preach, I wanted to share this. I have a 26-year-old son. I have 5 children, so y'all don't judge me.
Drop it in the chat.
My 26-year-old son, my children were homeschooled, and one of the books, 2, that they were required to read were How to Win Friends and Influence People and Emotional Intelligence. When they were teens, y'all, they live all over the country. They're independent. 3 have graduated from college. They're working, all these things. And do you know how many times that they reference those 2 books in particular, but that people talk about, how did you know this? It's not common knowledge, everyone. So don't, again, in the self-aware, don't beat up on yourself. I want to close with that, Lisa. Don't beat up on yourself. Don't beat up on yourself if you're not good on the team. Don't beat up on yourself if you're not comfortable speaking in front of people. There is an opportunity. Thank you. There is a yet. Amen. There is an opportunity every single day that you wake up. Actually, I'm not going to use the snooze button. Watch it. It can be something little. Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to put my phone down once I turn the alarm off and stretch and welcome. I have a 5 a.m. prayer. I have, this, whatever it is, like you said, just move around, go outside and come back in, drink water instead of coffee.
Yeah, Shawn, we're gonna get you. We want you to give your last, but we want to give away this. We want to give away this book first. We have a tip of the day, and we have some things that we want to get through, so we can also let Shawn let you know where you can find her. It's Means Melodic. So yes, you are the winner. Empowering Perspectives. You tell us what you want to do. I have other books that we can definitely, if you already have The Power Shut Up. There's other books that we have. I think I showed them last time, but I have Unleash Your Superpowers, which is discovering the power from within. You can get a copy of that. Let me know, and we need you to send your information to our email so we can get that to you. So congratulations to you all. I did want to share, and then we're going to let Shawn, before we close out, I need the Dr. Lisa to walk to the library. I'm building it to share. Absolutely. What I want to do, because I'm going to make sure that you all can connect with Shawn, because she does some amazing things, and you can see she's a wealth of knowledge. And she inspires me. She has been my business coach. She's been my on hosting podcasts and radio shows. She's the bomb.com. But I wanted to show the tip of the day. We're going to show this tip. We showed one last week. Today's tip is, remember, communication is a two-way street. Someone delivers and someone receives. A lot of times we stop short of giving our message and then we walking away. Or we're on the phone and we actually say something and then we want to hang up the phone. Okay, no, that's not the end of the conversation. You have not been a productive communicator and effective if you're only doing one way down the street. Because when you leave, you got to come back home. So remember that it's a two-way street. We have a TikTok moment that I thought was really relevant to the conversation that we're talking about today. But before we show that tip, you're good. Before we show that tip, Shawn, please let everybody know what you do, where to find you. Because Shawn is definitely somebody that you want to tap into. And I have actually, with some people in the room, I have shared Shawn. I've shared you all with Shawn as well. But Shawn, let us know where we can connect with you.
Awesome. You can find me on all of these social platforms, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or on Threads. Actually, I've been liking Threads. So it is Shawn LeSuer. Is LeSuer. I know it's French. It is what it is, right? But I am at Shawn LeSuer on all social platforms. So
thank you so much, Shawn. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, and with Shawn, we'll be back. We have one more shout out before we say goodnight and show you our TikTok moment. We want to say a special congratulations. And the team is all here because Shawn happens to be part of the publishing company, Touched by Dove Publishing, and Shariva's in the back. So a couple of shout outs. But we have in our hands, and we're congratulating, Shadonna has released her book. We did release the book, but we finally got it in our hands. And it is the cutest thing. This is Wholeheartedly in Love, romantic poems. It is the cutest. So I want to say congratulations to Shariva, who designed the cover based on Shadonna's vision. And congratulations to Shadonna on having her. She has a digital copy and she also has the paperback. Congratulations to you. She is has been an amazing client. And this is, if you look, I'm gonna say, drop this in your purse when you're on that date or you're having a conversation. There's some wonderful romantic poetry in this book, but congratulations. She also has a journal. You'll be able to get more information on her website. So we're finalizing some things with Shadonna, but we had to show this off. So I just wanted to let her know that we have your books that are going to be coming to you with love from Touched by Dove Publishing. So congratulations to you. And thank you all so much for continuing to tune in. We have more to come. Look, I wanted to do part 2 with this because this conversation is deep. And Shawn, anytime, you know, you are always welcome with a seat. It's up to 10 people that can be sitting in this room. And if we are empowering, enlightening, and inspiring others to live out their dreams and do better on a daily basis, you are all welcome to do that right here on the Power Shut Up podcast. So I want to close with sharing a TikTok moment. It's old, but it's relevant. And it actually will make you smile. And I always try to share a TikTok moment to just take you into the weekend until I see you on next Thursday. So check out this TikTok moment.
You want me to help, Rose?
No, thank you. No, thank you.
What do you want me to do?
What about yourself? What about yourself? I'll do this one, so gonna do that. You drive. What about yourself?
So that has been
so appropriate.
It's so appropriate, and that has been one of my favorite videos since I've seen it probably 5-6 years ago. Out of the mouths of babes, worry about yourself. So that really is the theme of tonight's episode. Worry about yourself. We so busy worrying about other people. Check yourself. Worry about yourself. And once you get that straight, I promise you that the road to anyone else is going to be a whole lot easier. So until next Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll catch you here. And please share this out with your family and friends. And know that we are all about the business of being able to communicate better with one another so we can do the daggone thing. So see you next week.
Bye. Thanks.